Have you ever been pulled out of sleep by a sudden, sharp cramp in your leg? One moment you're resting quietly, and the next, a painful spasm grips your calf or foot so tightly that it feels like your muscle is twisting on its own. Many of my patients describe this moment with the same mix of fear and frustration, wondering why it keeps happening at night and why it seems to be getting worse with age. A patient of mine, a kind woman in her early 70s, once told me she did everything she was supposed to do. She stretched before bed, she drank water throughout the day, and she tried warm showers in the evening. Yet her cramps still struck without warning, waking her up several times a week. It wasn't until we looked deeper that we discovered her cramps were driven by hidden causes she had never considered. What surprised her most was that the problem wasn't simply dehydration or aging, but a combination of circulation changes, nerve irritation, and mineral imbalances happening quietly beneath the surface. I want you to imagine this for a moment. Your body works tirelessly all day long, but during sleep, everything slows down. Blood flow decreases, muscles cool, nerves become more sensitive, and any imbalance you've carried through the day quietly reveals itself when you finally lie still. This is why nighttime leg cramps often feel so sudden, so intense, and so confusing. They are not random. They are signals. Science tells us that muscles depend on steady oxygen, electrolytes, and stable nerve communication. When any of these drop during the night, the muscle can misfire like a spark without direction. The result is a painful spasm that leaves you breathless and wide awake. Before we go deeper, I want you to know this. Nighttime leg cramps are not a sign of weakness or failure. They are your body's way of asking for attention, clarity, and care. In the next part, we will uncover the shocking hidden causes most seniors overlook and show you clear steps to finally reduce or even prevent these nighttime cramps. And if this message is already helping you understand your body better, please subscribe, like, and share Senior Health Daily. Your support allows me to keep creating life-changing guidance for you. Why leg cramps happen at night? When we talk about leg cramps that strike during sleep, we're really talking about a perfect storm happening inside the body at a time when you least expect it. People often assume these cramps are just dehydration or aging. But the truth is that nighttime creates conditions that make the muscles more vulnerable than any other moment of the day. During the day, your legs benefit from movement. Each step pushes blood through your arteries and veins, delivering oxygen and nutrients that keep your muscles stable and responsive. But at night, everything slows down. Your heart rate drops as your body prepares for rest and circulation decreases, especially to the lower extremities. For older adults, this natural slowdown is even more dramatic because aging arteries don't expand and contract as easily as they once did. That means the muscles of your calves and feet may not receive the blood flow they need to stay calm through the night. Muscles also cool down while you sleep. Cooler muscles are less flexible and more likely to stiffen. Think of a rubber band left in a cold room. It doesn't move as smoothly, and it snaps with less warning. That's what happens to your leg muscles when you're lying still for hours. The cooling, combined with decreased blood flow, creates a setting where even a small imbalance inside the muscle can cause a sudden spasm. Nerves are another part of this story. After the age of 60, nerve fibers naturally become more sensitive. This is why small changes in muscle tension can feel bigger, sharper, and more sudden. A nerve that would have ignored a small twitch at age 30 may interpret that same twitch as a full muscle contraction at age 70. This heightened sensitivity is one reason seniors often describe nighttime cramps as intense, electric, or seizing. There are other hidden contributors as well. Electrolytes like magnesium, potassium, and calcium regulate how muscles contract and relax. When any of them drop too low, the muscle loses stability. Many seniors are unknowingly low in these minerals because of changes in appetite, medication side effects, lower thirst cues, or digestive changes that reduce absorption. Even if a senior drinks plenty of water, the muscle may still misfire if these electrolytes are out of balance. Medication adds another layer. Diuretics pull water and electrolytes out of the body. Statins can irritate muscle tissue and make it more prone to cramping at night. Beta blockers can slightly alter circulation. These medications are important and often life-saving, but their effects on nighttime cramps often go unnoticed. One of my patients, a retired engineer, used to sit in his recliner for hours every evening watching television. He didn't realize that staying in one position for so long caused blood to pool in his lower legs. When he finally went to bed, his muscles were already deprived of oxygen. It wasn't until he began getting up every 30 minutes to stretch and walk a bit that his cramps eased. Nighttime leg cramps aren't random. They're the result of how your body behaves when the lights go off and everything slows down. When circulation decreases, muscles cool, nerves become more sensitive, and electrolytes drift out of balance. The stage is set. When you understand this, you start to see that a nighttime cramp is less of a mystery and more of a message. Overlooked circulation issues affecting nighttime cramps. As we move deeper into this topic, I want you to picture something that most people never think about. Your muscles are some of the most hardworking parts of your entire body, and they rely on a constant supply of oxygen-rich blood to function smoothly. During the day, gravity helps pull blood downward, and movement helps push blood upward. It is a steady cycle that keeps your legs nourished. But when you lie down at night, that natural assistance disappears. Gravity is no longer helping circulation, and your muscles depend entirely on the strength of your arteries. The challenge is that arteries change with age. They lose some of their flexibility, becoming a little stiffer each year. This stiffness means blood does not flow quite as easily into the smaller vessels that feed your calf muscles and feet. During the day, this reduced flow might go unnoticed because movement compensates for it. But at night, without walking or standing, the reduced circulation becomes more obvious. The muscle begins to sense that it is not receiving enough oxygen, and that lack triggers irritation within the muscle fibers. Many seniors tell me their legs feel colder at night. That coldness is not just temperature, it is a clue. Cooler skin often reflects lower circulation, especially when it is uneven between the two legs. Sometimes the toes feel slightly numb, or the calves feel subtly tight. These sensations happen because oxygen delivery to the muscle slows, and the muscle responds by tightening or contracting. That tightening can snowball into a full cramp, especially if the muscle has already been strained earlier in the day. One of the most overlooked facts is that early vascular issues often show up at night long before they become noticeable during the day. A senior might walk comfortably for hours, but still experience nighttime leg cramps because the circulation is just barely meeting the muscle's needs. When the body relaxes at night, those borderline vessels can no longer keep up. The result is a spasm that feels painful and unpredictable, even though the root cause has been building quietly for years. I remember a patient who came to me convinced she had a nerve problem because her cramps were sharp and sudden. She had no difficulty walking, and she did not feel any numbness during the day. But when we did a simple evaluation, we found that her lower leg arteries were showing early signs of narrowing. Her cramps were her body's first warning. A few small changes like warm foot baths, gentle evening stretches, and elevating her legs before bed made a noticeable difference because they encouraged better blood flow to the muscle before sleep. Circulation issues don't always feel dramatic. They whisper before they ever shout. They show up as cold feet, tingling toes, a heavy feeling in the calves, or cramps that appear only when you're trying to rest. These signals matter. They tell you that your muscles are asking for better oxygen delivery, better support, and better attention. Understanding this connection between circulation and nighttime cramps is powerful. Once you recognize these early clues, you can take steps to improve your nighttime comfort and protect the long-term health of your legs. Nerve-related causes seniors miss. As we continue exploring why nighttime leg cramps happen, there is another hidden layer many seniors never consider. Circulation is only one part of the story. The nervous system plays an equally important role, and when nerves become irritated or compressed, the muscles react instantly. What surprises most people is how often nerve issues disguise themselves as simple cramps. Nerves are the body's electrical wiring. They communicate with your muscles every second, sending signals that tell the muscle when to contract and when to relax. When a nerve becomes pinched or inflamed, those messages become distorted. Sometimes the nerve fires too strongly, sometimes it fires at the wrong moment. And when that happens during sleep, the muscle can seize unexpectedly, creating a sharp cramp that forces you out of bed. After 60, the spine undergoes natural changes. Discs flatten slightly, joints stiffen, and small shifts in alignment can irritate the nerves that run down the legs. Even a mild pinch in the lower back can trigger cramps in the calves or feet. But because there is no back pain at night, many seniors assume the leg cramps are unrelated. The truth is that the source of the cramp may begin far from the place where the pain appears. Sleeping position often makes this worse. When someone sleeps curled tightly on their side, the lower back can compress slightly. This compression irritates the nerves traveling down the legs. The irritation might be subtle while you're awake, but when you lie still for a long time, the nerve becomes more reactive. The muscle receives a sudden, exaggerated signal and contracts with intense force. That is why some nighttime cramps feel as if the muscle is twisting or pulling even though you weren't moving at all. I once worked with a gentleman who had nighttime cramps so severe he kept a chair next to his bed just to help him stand when the spasm hit. He was convinced something was wrong with his circulation, but his tests were normal. Eventually, we discovered that he slept in a curled position with his knees drawn up and his lower back rounded. This posture irritated the nerves in his spine. When he adjusted his sleeping position by placing a small pillow under his knees while lying on his back, his cramps decreased dramatically. His muscles were not the problem, his nerves were. Neuropathy is another hidden contributor. Seniors with diabetes or prediabetes often experience subtle nerve changes long before they notice burning or numbness during the day. These fragile nerves misfire more easily at night when the body is still. Even people who don't have diabetes may develop age-related neuropathy, especially if they have low vitamin B12 or chronic inflammation. Restless leg syndrome can also mimic cramps. Someone may feel an urge to move their legs, a twitching sensation, or sudden tightening that feels like the beginning of a cramp. These sensations come from nerves, not muscles, and they can wake you just as suddenly as a true spasm. When you begin to see nerve-related causes as part of the bigger picture, nighttime cramps make more sense. Muscles don't act alone. They respond to the signals they receive, and when those signals become irritated or confused, the muscle reacts in the only way it knows how. That unexpected contraction is the body's way of telling you that your nerves need attention, protection, and care. Mineral imbalances that trigger night cramps. As we keep peeling back the layers behind nighttime leg cramps, another piece of the puzzle becomes impossible to ignore. Even when circulation is steady and nerves are functioning normally, the muscles can still trigger painful spasms if the minerals that regulate contraction and relaxation fall out of balance. This is one of the most overlooked causes among older adults, and yet it is one of the most common. Your muscles rely on a delicate partnership of minerals. Calcium helps them contract. Magnesium helps them relax. Potassium helps stabilize the electrical signals that guide the entire process. When these minerals drift out of balance, even slightly, the muscle can misfire during sleep. That misfire is what you feel as a sudden, wrenching cramp. Magnesium deficiency is incredibly common among seniors. As we age, our digestive system becomes less efficient at absorbing magnesium from food. Even people who eat plenty of vegetables may not absorb enough. When magnesium levels drop, the muscles lose their ability to ease out of tension. Instead of relaxing smoothly, they tighten and stay tight. These cramps often feel deep, heavy, or lingering, like the muscle refuses to let go even after the initial spasm. Potassium imbalances create a different sensation. These cramps feel tight and locking, almost as if the muscle is caught and cannot release. Potassium helps regulate the electrical activity of the muscle, and even mild dehydration or certain medications can shift potassium levels enough to trigger nighttime spasms. Many seniors take diuretics, which can reduce potassium quietly through the day. By bedtime, the muscle is more vulnerable than anyone realizes. Calcium deficiency creates another pattern altogether. These cramps are sharp, sudden, and often accompanied by tingling sensations in the feet or around the mouth. Calcium plays the role of the spark that tells a muscle to tighten, but it must be balanced with magnesium, the mineral that tells the muscle to relax. When calcium is too low, the nerves become overly reactive. A gentle twitch becomes a full contraction. A minor signal becomes an intense cramp. The body loses precision, and the result is a painful surprise in the middle of the night. I once worked with a woman who experienced nightly spasms despite stretching daily, staying hydrated, and walking regularly. She felt frustrated because she believed she was doing everything right. After a simple blood test, we discovered her calcium levels were slightly low, and her vitamin D was even lower. Once she corrected those levels, her nighttime cramps eased within weeks. She wasn't weak or unhealthy. Her muscles were simply missing something essential. What makes mineral imbalances especially tricky is that the symptoms are subtle during the day. A little fatigue, slight twitching, or a sense of heaviness in the legs often goes unnoticed. It's only at night, when the body becomes quiet, that the imbalance reveals itself. That is why so many seniors feel confused. The root cause doesn't feel dramatic, but the nighttime pain does. Understanding the mineral connection gives you another layer of control. These minerals are not mysteries. They can be measured, supported, and balanced. When they are, your muscles respond with calmness rather than chaos, giving you a better chance at a peaceful, uninterrupted night. Surprising lifestyle causes seniors overlook. As we continue uncovering the reasons behind nighttime leg cramps, it becomes clear that some of the most common triggers aren't medical at all. They're hidden in everyday habits that seem harmless, but quietly strain the body over time. Many seniors assume their cramps must be caused by something serious, but more often than not, the root cause lies in routines that have gone unnoticed for years. One of the most surprising contributors is dehydration in the second half of the day. Many older adults drink water in the morning, but slow down dramatically by evening because they want to avoid nighttime bathroom trips. While that choice is understandable, it leaves the muscles slightly dehydrated when they need support the most. By bedtime, the body is already running low on fluid, and without enough hydration, the muscles struggle to maintain balance, making nighttime cramps far more likely. Caffeine also plays a subtle part. An afternoon cup of coffee or tea can act as a mild diuretic, increasing fluid loss long after the drink is finished. Seniors often tell me they don't drink much caffeine, but even a small amount at the wrong time can nudge the body toward dehydration without them realizing it. Sodium is another quiet culprit. Many traditional dinners, especially comfort foods, contain more salt than the body can comfortably process overnight. Excess sodium affects fluid balance inside the muscle cells. That imbalance makes the muscle irritable and more likely to contract unexpectedly during sleep. The person eating the salty meal has no idea the effects won't show up until the middle of the night. Evening posture matters more than most people think. Sitting for long stretches after dinner, especially in recliners or soft sofas that allow the knees to bend sharply, restricts blood flow to the lower legs. Without realizing it, many seniors go from hours of evening sitting directly into bed. Their muscles never get the movement they need to circulate fresh blood before sleep, leaving them tight and vulnerable. Clothing choices also have an impact. Tight socks, compressive waistbands, or even restrictive pajamas can subtly reduce circulation. What feels cozy at 7 p.m. can create real problems by midnight. The same is true for the way someone positions their feet while lying down. Sleeping with toes pointed downward, which happens naturally while lying on the stomach or when blankets push down on the feet, keeps the calf muscles in a shortened position. Muscles that remain shortened for too long are more likely to spasm when finally asked to relax. I once treated a senior who suffered from cramps several nights a week. He believed something was seriously wrong until we looked closely at his routine. Every evening, he sat in the same recliner, his legs bent and motionless for hours. He rarely drank water after 6 p.m. and wore snug thermal socks to bed. None of these habits seemed dangerous, but together, they created the perfect environment for nighttime cramps. Once he began walking every hour in the evening, adjusting his socks, and drinking a small glass of water before bed, the cramps that had haunted him for months began to fade. Lifestyle may seem simple, but these small choices shape the body in powerful ways. When you learn to recognize these overlooked habits, you begin to understand your body's nighttime messages with much greater clarity. Sleep posture problems that cause cramps. As we look deeper into how nighttime leg cramps develop, there is another factor that often goes unnoticed because it happens when people are completely unaware of their own body positions. Sleep posture may seem insignificant, but the way you arrange your legs, feet, and spine throughout the night can determine whether your muscles stay calm or suddenly contract with painful force. One of the most common posture-related triggers is sleeping on the stomach. Many seniors used to sleep comfortably this way when they were younger, but the body changes with age. When someone sleeps on their stomach, the feet naturally point downward, placing the calf muscles in a shortened position for hours at a time. A muscle that stays shortened for too long becomes irritable. The moment the brain sends even a tiny signal for movement during sleep, the muscle tightens instead of relaxing, and a cramp erupts without warning. Sleeping with the feet tucked downward can happen even in other positions. Heavy blankets often weigh down the toes, and soft mattresses can tilt the feet at awkward angles. Seniors sometimes wake up thinking a cramp came out of nowhere, but their feet have been slightly pointed for most of the night. The muscles simply reacted to the strain. Side sleeping also creates challenges. Many people curl their knees toward their chest in a fetal position because it feels comfortable, but this posture can subtly compress the lower back. When the lower spine tightens, the nerves running down the legs may become irritated. Even a mild irritation can lead to nighttime spasms, especially if the muscles are already tired or dehydrated. Some seniors also rest one leg higher than the other, sometimes on a pillow. While this may ease hip pressure, it can pinch circulation on one side and leave the calf or foot susceptible to cramping. I once cared for a gentleman who believed his cramps were caused by poor circulation, yet all his tests were normal. The real issue was his sleeping posture. He slept on his left side with his top leg pulled forward at an angle, shifting his spine throughout the night. That imbalance irritated the nerves running down his right calf, causing unpredictable cramps that woke him repeatedly. When he adjusted his sleeping posture using a small pillow between his knees and kept his legs aligned, the nighttime cramps changed almost immediately. Back sleeping, while often ideal for cramp prevention, still requires attention. Some seniors rest with their knees bent sharply or place a thick pillow under their legs. This position can reduce circulation to the calves even while lying on the back. A slight bend is fine, but a deep bend keeps the muscle shortened and increases the risk of spasms once the body tries to stretch in the middle of the night. The key idea is simple. Muscles that are held in shortened or compressed positions for long periods become vulnerable. When the body finally shifts or stretches, even gently, the muscle responds with tension instead of relaxation. That tension becomes the spark that ignites a cramp. Small posture adjustments can make a world of difference. A pillow under the knees to keep your legs aligned, lighter blankets around the feet, gentle foot elevation before bed, or simply keeping your ankles in a neutral position can transform your sleep and dramatically reduce cramping. Your body speaks through these nighttime sensations. Learning what your posture communicates is one of the most empowering steps you can take toward quieter, more peaceful nights. Medications and conditions that influence night cramps. As we explore nighttime leg cramps more deeply, there is an area many seniors rarely realize plays a major role: medications and underlying health conditions. These two factors often work silently in the background, creating imbalances or sensitivities that only become noticeable when you're resting at night. Because the effects are subtle during the day, people often dismiss the nighttime pain as random, when in reality, the body is reacting to changes they aren't aware of. Some of the most common medications that contribute to nighttime cramps are diuretics. These are often prescribed for high blood pressure or heart conditions, and they work by helping the body release excess fluid. While this is extremely beneficial for the heart and kidneys, it also causes minerals like sodium, potassium, and magnesium to be flushed out. A senior may take a diuretic in the morning, feel perfectly fine all day, and then have a cramp at midnight because the body ran low on electrolytes hours earlier. The medication did its job, but the muscles paid the price overnight. Statins are another medication group with a complicated relationship to muscle health. Not everyone experiences muscle symptoms from statins, but some older adults develop subtle muscle irritation or weakness. This irritation can remain unnoticed during the day, especially when movement keeps the muscles warm and flexible. But during sleep, when the muscles cool and circulation slows, that irritation becomes more pronounced, and a cramp may appear suddenly. Antihistamines and certain antidepressants can also influence how nerves communicate with muscles. These medications sometimes slow nerve signals or alter how the muscles respond to them. This doesn't mean the medication is unsafe, but it does mean that the body's nighttime responses may need more attention. Beyond medications, several medical conditions increase the likelihood of nighttime cramps. Diabetes is a major contributor because it affects both circulation and nerve health. Even seniors with early or undiagnosed blood sugar issues may experience nerve sensitivity that triggers nighttime spasms. Thyroid disorders can influence muscle metabolism and create tension that builds through the day and explodes at night. Anemia reduces oxygen delivery to the muscles. Low oxygen means the muscle tires more easily, especially at rest. Vascular conditions, even mild ones, can restrict blood flow just enough to trigger cramps when the body relaxes. Seniors often think circulation issues only show up as pain while walking, but in reality, nighttime cramps are often the first sign. The muscles are telling you that something deeper needs attention. I'll never forget a patient who came to me terrified because her nighttime cramps had become so severe she could barely sleep. She was convinced something terrible was happening to her muscles. After reviewing her medications, we discovered she had recently increased the dose of her diuretic. Her electrolytes were dropping every afternoon, setting the stage for nightly spasms. A small medication adjustment and a conversation with her primary doctor completely transformed her nights. The important thing to remember is that nighttime cramps are rarely caused by just one factor. Medications, mineral levels, underlying conditions, and age-related changes often interact. When you understand how these elements connect, you begin to see your nighttime cramps not as random punishment, but as valuable clues from your body. What to do during a nighttime cramp? When a nighttime leg cramp strikes, the pain can be so sharp and sudden that it pulls you out of sleep before you even understand what's happening. Many seniors describe it as a bolt of electricity shooting down the leg or a muscle twisting so tightly it feels impossible to move. In that moment, the body goes into panic mode, and the first instinct is often to strain, jerk, or grab the muscle in a way that actually makes the cramp worse. What matters most in those first few seconds is calming the body so the muscle can release. The first thing I encourage my patients to do is breathe. It sounds simple, but deep breathing lowers the body's stress response and helps stop the cascade of nerve signals that intensify the cramp. When the brain panics, the muscle tightens further. When the brain calms, the muscle begins to ease. A slow breath in and an even slower breath out signals the nervous system to settle. Once you can breathe through the pain, the next step is to gently flex your foot upward. This motion stretches the calf in the exact opposite direction of the cramp. Many people instinctively point their toes downward, but that shortens the muscle and worsens the spasm. Pulling the toes toward the shin, even a little at first, helps reverse the contraction. This technique is sometimes called the toe-up method, and countless seniors have told me it changed the way they handle nighttime cramps. After the initial release, gentle massage can help the muscle relax further. Using your hands to warm the area increases circulation and softens the tension that build up during the spasm. Some seniors like to stand up and place their foot flat on the floor, using their body weight to lengthen the calf slowly and safely. Others prefer to sit on the edge of the bed and stretch the leg forward until the tightening fades. Once the cramp has eased, applying warmth can soothe the muscle and reduce the chance of it returning moments later. A warm towel, heating pad, or even gently rubbing the area with your hands can restore blood flow and relieve lingering tension. Heat works because it encourages the vessel to widen slightly and allows the muscle to receive more oxygen. It sends a comforting message to the nervous system that the danger has passed. However, it's important not to rush. Moving too quickly after a cramp can cause the muscle to contract again. Slowing down, breathing deeply, and letting the muscle settle prevents a second spasm from forming. Some people experience cramps in clusters, not because the muscle is weak, but because they move too suddenly after the first one. One of my patients told me he used to jump out of bed whenever a cramp hit, which only made them worse. Once he learned to breathe slowly, flex his foot upward, and stay patient, the cramps became much more manageable. He no longer feared going to sleep because he finally understood how to respond when a cramp appeared. These moments in the middle of the night can feel frightening, but they don't have to. When you know what to do, you give your muscles the support they need to release the tension quietly instead of fighting against it. How to prevent leg cramps during sleep. Now that we've talked about what happens during a nighttime cramp and how to manage it in the moment, I want to shift the focus to something even more powerful: prevention. For many seniors, the greatest relief comes from knowing there are simple daily habits that can dramatically reduce the number of cramps they experience. These habits don't require intense exercise or complicated routines. They revolve around creating the right conditions for your muscles to stay calm when your body finally rests. One of the most important steps is staying gently hydrated throughout the day, especially in the late afternoon and early evening. The body needs steady hydration to maintain healthy muscle function, but many older adults avoid drinking later in the day because they fear nighttime bathroom trips. The key is moderation. A small glass of water an hour or two before bed can make a meaningful difference without causing disruptions. Muscles that have enough fluid are more flexible, more stable, and far less likely to contract uncontrollably in the middle of the night. Nutrition supports this process as well. Foods rich in magnesium and potassium help the muscles stay balanced and responsive. A handful of nuts, a banana, leafy greens, or a small bowl of yogurt can give your muscles the minerals they need to function smoothly. These foods are not meant to be a cure on their own, but they strengthen the foundation your muscles rely on. Many seniors have told me that simple changes in their evening snacks made their nights noticeably more peaceful. Movement is another key element. Walking for just 10 or 15 minutes after dinner encourages circulation, warms the muscles, and prevents blood from pooling in the legs. It's not about speed or distance. It's about giving your muscles a gentle reminder that they are still active and supported. Even small movement breaks throughout the evening, such as standing up and stretching every 30 minutes, can prevent cramps that would otherwise strike during the quiet hours of the night. Stretching before bed can be incredibly effective. A gentle calf stretch, held for 20 to 30 seconds, helps lengthen the muscle and release built-up tension. The same is true for flexing the feet upward or rolling the ankles slowly. These small movements restore flexibility at a time when muscles naturally want to tighten. Think of it as preparing the body for a night of rest, rather than letting it settle into stiffness. Elevation can also help. Lifting the legs slightly for 10 minutes before bed reduces swelling and encourages healthy circulation. Seniors who spend much of the day sitting often benefit the most from this simple step. When the legs are raised, the blood flows more easily back toward the heart, reducing the heavy, tight feeling that can trigger cramps later in the night. Finally, pay attention to how long you sit during the evening. Long periods of inactivity make the muscles sluggish and more likely to spasm once you lie down. Standing, stretching, or taking a short walk every hour resets the body and keeps circulation flowing. Even gentle movement can make the difference between a night of restful sleep and one interrupted by sudden pain. What I want you to remember is that nighttime cramps are not a sign that your body is failing. They are signals that your muscles need consistency, support, and attention. Small habits done daily can create powerful changes in how your muscles behave. When you give your body what it needs, it responds with calmness instead of chaos. When to see a doctor. As much as nighttime leg cramps can be caused by habits, posture, or mineral changes, there are moments when the body is giving you a deeper message. Recognizing those moments is one of the most important forms of self-care you can practice. Knowing when to see a doctor doesn't mean you're overreacting. It means you're paying attention, respecting your body, and choosing health over uncertainty. One of the clearest reasons to seek medical guidance is when the cramps become frequent or start happening almost every night. Your body is remarkably adaptable, but it does not send signals without purpose. Nightly or worsening cramps often mean something underneath needs attention. It may be circulation, nerve health, medication balance, or even a subtle nutritional deficiency that your body can no longer compensate for on its own. Another important sign is lingering discomfort after the cramp has ended. A typical leg cramp should ease within minutes and leave only mild tenderness. But when the pain lasts much longer or feels deep and persistent, it could indicate that the muscle has been strained repeatedly or that an underlying condition is affecting how the muscle recovers. Muscles are designed to heal quickly. When they don't, it's worth exploring why. Swelling, coldness, or changes in skin color around the feet or calves also deserve attention. These symptoms often point toward circulation problems, and circulation issues rarely resolve without guidance. Many seniors overlook early vascular changes because they are subtle during the day, but nighttime cramps paired with cold or discolored feet may be the body's earliest warning sign. Addressing these changes early can prevent larger complications later. Numbness or weakness is another clue. A muscle that goes numb before or after a cramp is not misbehaving on its own. It may be responding to nerve pressure or nerve damage. Seniors with diabetes, thyroid issues, or vitamin deficiencies often experience nerve changes long before they are diagnosed. A conversation with a doctor can bring clarity and allow you to take steps that restore confidence and peace of mind. Medication changes also matter. If nighttime cramps begin soon after a new prescription or dosage adjustment, your body may be reacting to the shift. This doesn't mean the medication is wrong for you, but it does mean your doctor should be aware. Small adjustments to timing, dosage, or supplements can often resolve the problem quickly and safely. One patient of mine spent months believing that her cramps were inevitable. When she finally came in for an evaluation, we discovered her symptoms were tied to a thyroid imbalance that had gone unnoticed. Once she began treatment, the cramps faded and her energy returned. It wasn't the cramp itself that concerned me. It was the message the cramp was trying to deliver. Nighttime leg cramps are not meant to frighten you. They are reminders that your body is communicating with you. When the signals grow stronger or more consistent, listening early can prevent discomfort later and protect your long-term mobility and independence. Reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom, and your future self will thank you for it. Bringing it all together. As we bring everything together, I want you to take a moment and breathe. Nighttime leg cramps can feel frightening, confusing, and disruptive, especially when they appear without warning. But now that you've walked through the deeper layers with me, I hope you feel something else too, clarity. Because the truth is that your body has been trying to talk to you all along. These cramps aren't random, they aren't meaningless. They are signals from a body that has carried you through decades of memories, movement, and milestones, and now needs your attention in a new way. You've learned how circulation plays a powerful role during the quiet hours of the night, and why aging arteries make the muscles more sensitive to even small changes in blood flow. You've discovered how the nerves in your legs, shaped by years of activity, posture, and natural aging, can become easily irritated and spark sudden spasms that feel like they come from nowhere. You've seen how minerals like magnesium, potassium, and calcium are more than nutrients. They are the language your muscles use to work in harmony. When one of them goes quiet or drifts out of balance, the whole system struggles to stay steady, you've also uncovered the surprising everyday habits that contribute to nighttime cramps without you realizing it. The long hours spent sitting, the evening dehydration, the tight socks, heavy blankets, and subtle postures that hold the muscles in vulnerable positions. Even the medications meant to help your heart, your blood pressure, or your energy can shift the body's chemistry in ways that show up in the middle of the night. What matters most is not how many of these factors apply to you, but that you now understand them. Knowledge gives you the power to see patterns you once missed. A cramp that used to feel like an attack now becomes a clue, a message, a gentle reminder that something in your body deserves care, reflection, or adjustment. I once told a patient of mine, a woman in her late 70s, that her cramps were not her enemy. They were her body's way of trying to protect her, to pull her attention towards something she had overlooked. When she shifted her routines, adjusted her posture, added a little more hydration and minerals to her evenings, and spoke with her doctor about her medications, the cramps slowly faded. What remained wasn't pain, but a deeper sense of connection to her own body. And that's what I want for you. Not fear or frustration, but understanding. Not helplessness, but confidence. When you listen to the whispers your body sends at night, you give yourself the chance to improve not only your sleep, but your mobility, comfort, and independence. As we close this section, remember this. You are not at the mercy of these cramps. You have options, you have tools, and you have a body that still responds beautifully to attention and care. The more you understand its signals, the more peaceful your nights can become. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to hold on to one comforting truth. Nighttime leg cramps are not signs of failure or decline. They are signals. They are your body's way of reaching out, asking for understanding, attention, and compassion. And when you listen closely, you begin to see that these signals are not warnings meant to scare you, but invitations to care for yourself in a deeper, more thoughtful way. Your legs have carried you through a lifetime. They've taken you to work, through neighborhoods, across celebrations, family trips, joyful moments, and difficult ones too. They have supported you through every season of your life, often without asking for much in return. They deserve your kindness. They deserve your patience, and they deserve your gratitude for all they have allowed you to do. The beautiful truth is that improvement is possible, no matter your age. Whether you are 60, 70, 80, or beyond, your body still responds to small, loving habits. A little more movement, a little more hydration, a small adjustment in posture, a gentle stretch at the end of the day. None of these steps require perfection. They only require awareness and consistency. Most importantly, I want you to start listening to the whispers long before they become shouts. Your body speaks in quiet ways. A little tightness, a little tingling, a heaviness in the calves. These are not burdens, they are conversations. And when you honor them, you build a healthier, more peaceful relationship with yourself. Your health is a lifelong relationship. Treat it with patience, curiosity, and love. If this video has helped you understand your body in a new way, I invite you to subscribe, like, and share Senior Health Daily. Your support helps this community grow, and it allows me to continue guiding you toward comfort, clarity, and confidence in your health.